What's up, everyone? Okay, so we are nosediving at the moment. I think we just had a 400 mil order come in across most markets, and it's selling down at the moment. So we're just watching the markets. 9,200 is the support level at the moment. Now the only question is, would you be wanting to buy up Bitcoin at the moment? No, don't touch the price point at this current price point, because you don't know how much more it's gonna go down. But if you're looking at the 15-minute candles, yes, the sell volume is very strong. It's catching a falling knife, so I would strongly suggest go for consolidation. But if a sell down is happening at this current juncture and it's at this kind of level, I would say that the rebound, if there is going to be any, is going to be pretty quick. But I would say that we might see below 9,000 actually for this period. Funnily enough, right? Funnily enough, I actually got some news yesterday. I think it was just yesterday that we had some. We did get some news, right, that this was gonna happen, but we didn't want to announce it because we weren't even sure whether the source was legitimate. I guess it was. So yeah, just one. I'm not saying that look, we didn't have the balls to give such a call. We didn't even know the extent of the FUD, and so we didn't mention anything about it. But it's happening right now. Now, what is the reason? No one actually knows. Obviously, it's just across all boards. It's not the SEC subpoena and whatever, but I think it really doesn't matter what SEC is doing. Right now, SEC is just clamping down on any kind of ICO, right? So if they are collectively, maybe they're trying to get out. That's one thing. Another thing is, you're having very huge sell orders coming in from BTC at the moment. So, guys, okay, I think the most important thing is you have to ask yourself, where do you see this space? Now, if you notice that there are a lot of collective news that is negative about the space, it's quite ironic. So everything seems to happen together. You have fucking Cointelegraph also dishing out shit, saying that there's a Harvard professor that says that if Bitcoin doesn't have any real world use case, it'll drop to $100. Then at the same time, you have I think the ex-IMF chief saying that Bitcoin will drop to $100. I mean, who knows whether they really did interview the ex-IMF, the ex-IMF chief, or who knows whether they really interviewed a Harvard professor. How do you know? Seriously, how do you know? So my only take is take everything with a grain of salt, right? The news, if there's some news that reacts to it, okay, it's always pre-prepared, and you know that Cointelegraph, the articles are not the best, okay, and at the same time also, even sometimes when we read certain articles from newsbitcoin.com, it's really not the best as well. Yeah, so I think what we really need to do is just chill, okay, just chill. If you have the liquidity, you might want to wait a little while. Don't be too desperate to jump in. Yeah, it's like, look, this is just one of those things, right? It's just one of those things that is happening. People are panicking. I've always mentioned, guys, never ever leverage. I think I really feel very concerned more for the people who are always over leveraged in the cryptocurrency space. Now, I think majority of us are all adults. We make our own financial decisions, and of course, if you had borrowed to be part of this, I really hope that you are watching this video right now and not panicking if you invested in Bitcoin only. But the altcoin space right now is really soft. I wouldn't touch it. I would strongly suggest just really looking into Bitcoin, solely just Bitcoin. And if you really wanted to look at Bitcoin, go on a monthly basis, take a small portion of your salary, 10%, no more, and start accumulating that Bitcoin, because I think this level is kind of okay. Now, there are talks of from a technical analysis standpoint that it was going to be 4,200 in in by a certain period, maybe even 5,000, you know. So look, whatever the reason, okay, whatever the reason, try to understand one thing. The institutional money still wants to get in. That's one. Coinbase just created a crypto fund. So there are more things at play at the moment, right? If Coinbase just created a crypto index fund, you know, there may be reasons why this is happening at the moment, because there's always going to be someone on the other end picking it up, right? And at the same time, you do not know whoever is selling this Bitcoin might have held it for such a long time, and you know what? They don't okay, obviously you may not see a $20,000 Bitcoin very quickly, right? You may probably see it in the next maybe 1 to 2 to even maybe 6 months possible, right? Because we may be in a bear market, guys, and I think this market is really soft. I've mentioned that over and over again. Right now, if you are confident, the only thing that has any life would be Bitcoin itself. As you can see right now, if you had the balls, okay, if you had the balls and you were to enter at 9,700 and just maybe trade it way back up again, and it recovers back to maybe 10.8 in the next few days or so, okay, you would have a nice increase. But can I safely say that you should get in now? Don't do it. So I think look, everyone here is trying their best to figure out what is going on, sourcing out the news and everything, and the space is still very vibrant. I think fundamentally there is nothing wrong. Okay, there's really nothing wrong with the space, guys. Okay, this is just one aspect happening. Like I said, if you are worried about this space, my suggestion, leave it until there's practically no excitement whatsoever, where you see everyone transacting with Bitcoin, where merchants are accepting Bitcoin, and people are just using it as a form of currency. Then maybe it's time for you to come back. But if you're going to take it as investment, you really have to have a strong stomach and a strong heart. Okay, and if you look at the altcoin space, just 2 days ago, I mentioned that should you be investing heavily into ICOs and whatnot. I think the ICOs these days are really smart. They have a huge coin supply. Okay, that's one, and they love to kind of register. They kind of love to release below 10 cents. Right? Some are even at 5 cents. So it creates that perception that it's cheap. All right, and at the same time, since it's like a few hundred satoshis, 100, 200 satoshis, right? People are not really worried, because collectively they can put in $100, $200, $300, and they could still benefit, right? So I noticed this is the trend that's happening of late. Could they benefit? Maybe, for example, if from 2 cents or even 1 cent it goes to 10 cents, maybe, right? I noticed that these are the new strategy now is to go like small. Okay, go small, go very cheap, and people will be thinking, you know what, since it's 200 satoshis, let's just do it, let's not be fearful. So I noticed this is the trend. But I'm still sticking to my guns. I'm still sticking to the platforms that matter. It's just a matter of whether or not you have the strong stomach. So don't worry, don't panic. This is just one of those days in crypto. Don't over leverage, I think the most important thing. And if we do get out of this bear market, please remember that at the end of the day, don't think that this is always going to be the way it is, right? There's always going to be FUD happening. There was so much positive news, I think 2 weeks before. Suddenly, coming into this week, you have so many subpoenas happening from SEC. You have hacks. You have, I think today we have Binance. There was some issues where there's people are rumored that there's a Binance API hack, right? So there's a Binance API hack. Certain accounts have been compromised. They were forced to sell off their positions to buy up Viacoin to help. It's rumored that some guy is trying to get out his own Via coin, right? And then you have a lot of people having their random altcoins sold to BTC, and then from then it was to buy up the Via coin, and this guy could exit. There's that rumor as well, but like I said, this is just a rumor. It just happened on Twitter. It's very current. It's not reported as of now, but I think the Binance support are looking into it. So as you can see, never a dull day in crypto land. You guys are just gonna have to enjoy that ride, as per se, right? Don't panic, right? I think everything in this space, you just have to just keep calm, keep cool, okay? Read a book, guys. I think right now the best time is to start reading, educating yourself about cryptocurrencies, and at the same time, it really haunts your skills. It really haunts your skills because in the time of panic, right, emotionally, can you kind of detach away from this space? Okay, I was just surprised. I was just chilling, and then at the end of the day, this happened. I was like, I wonder whether there will be people who are worried. Look, it's not $970, it's $9,788. Okay, so will we do for this correction? Maybe not, but as you can see, it's starting to consolidate a little bit at this price point. So just observe it a little bit more, guys. Don't be too hasty to jump in, but those who are a little bit more brave, below 10k is, you know, usually one of those levels that if you're pretty aggressive, go ahead, right? But that being said, just bear in mind, no more than 10% of your overall liquidity for the month. So say you have $1,000 worth of change after paying off all your liabilities, $100, $200, you know, you want to go to town, go to town. This is basically how I would, you know, really give that kind of recommendation. Okay, then of course we have yeah, I mean, I think you guys are talking about Trevon James and Craig Grant. Yeah, so that's happening as well, right? In the midst. I wonder how is that gonna happen. You know, to be honest, as an affiliate, the only way that they can be guilty is if they kind of like found evidence that they realized that Bitconnect was a Ponzi. You know, guys, obviously from the very start, I already knew Bitconnect was a Ponzi because there's no such thing as 1+% per day daily return. Seriously. So, and we're talking about rather consistent, and then after that, I think they changed it to random. There's no such thing, guys. Okay. Even if there was such a thing, it wouldn't be for you and I. Okay, it will never be for the retail market. So it was always a left pocket, right pocket kind of thing. But of course, it's always the benefit of the doubt. So all these affiliates, as we all know, Crypto Nick already closed off his channel. Initially, he was selling courses and whatnot. I think together with Ryan Hildreth. Yeah. So I wonder where are these two buggers at the moment. Probably they're hiding somewhere. I'm pretty surprised that you know, Trevon and Craig Grant are actually going to court to kind of face up. I kind of respect that in a way. At least they didn't try to run away. But that all being said, right, usually the founders are the ones that are gonna go to jail, not the affiliates. But the affiliates are kind of responsible for shilling Bitconnect very hard. So if they were kind of incentivized, and if they knew that Bitconnect was gonna be in this state, right? If they knew, and that means they cashed out, but they still continued to shill, right? Then they are guilty in that sense because they clearly knew that there was problems with the platform. Yeah. I'm pretty surprised that what's his name, Carlos Matos, right? The you know, everyone, you know, has created a meme on him. I'm wondering how come he's not being summoned to the courts, right? But I guess maybe a lot of people made a meme on him, and he wasn't like a very active YouTuber, unlike you know, was that the Crypto Chick? Crypto Chick was kind of recent. I don't think she's very guilty. She's a little bit more on the innocent side in that way, a bit bimbo-y. But you know, look, no disrespect, but I just say that affiliate marketing is something that I used to do. I don't do it anymore. But at the end of the day, every HYIP is never meant to last, guys. Okay, HYIP means high yield investment program. And you know what? Bitconnect was in plain sight. Amazing. Okay, as we can see now on the 15-minute candles, we have BTC actually kind of forming some kind of consolidation between the $9,700 to the $9,800 mark. I think it's pretty fantastic. Yeah, so okay, so guys, you guys, let me see. All right. Let's see some of the comments. What are you guys up to? Okay, so I guess you know, guys, the most important thing is just to stay invested in the ones that matter at the moment, right? So there are coins that are doing better than others. You know, seems to be having some legitimate partnerships, and you know, some of the partnership news and whatnot, right, are a little bit more on the this is AJ, this is not Dragon Slayer at all, man. I think when you talk about Dragon Slayer, it has to really come down like hard. This is not hard, man. This is not really hard at all. It's just one of those things, right? Yeah, I mean, look, if you were invested in certain cryptocurrencies back in the day, let's say if you were 2016 and earlier, right? You shouldn't really have to panic. You don't have to worry at all. But if you are someone who is coming in very recently, anywhere from 15,000 and above, it is going to be quite painful, because those days, I'm not sure whether they're going to come back very, very quickly. People are saying yes, some people are saying no, some people saying that, you know, by the end of 2018, you're going to see 1.1 to 1.5 trillion. It's going to be very tough, guys. I would say this time around, it's going to be a bit different. If we return to those levels, great. If not, you just have to chill. You just have to let the world decide for itself whether it really wants a decentralized currency. Now, in terms of Bitcoin, right? In terms of Bitcoin, in general, it will still be here to stay. How and what is the value? It is yet to be determined. Now, in terms of blockchain technology, it is here to stay. So you have to be very, very watchful on the ones that have the best funding, the best support, especially from enterprise, because especially those enterprise that are cash rich, they can really spend on R&D. These are the projects that you really want to have. But what I've been hearing from the ground, okay, from the ground, not from myself, but from the ground, that sometimes these projects even create fake news, okay, and it's very hard to validate. This is one problem that I was quite shocked. And these projects are actually credible projects themselves, right? So it's really insider where you get to hear and you talk and you realize, wow, you know, it's the space is just such so that you kind of want to still keep people happy. But you know what? When Bitcoin goes down, everything goes down. No one is safe. Yeah. Nah, today is not a cussing day, man. I mean, look, what is there to cuss, right? I think a lot of people are very upset that you know, they didn't sell off at the high. They didn't cash out at the 11,500 mark. The premium group we did. Okay, the premium group, we actually cashed out 50% of our BTC, anywhere from 11,300 to 11,500. So we are pretty happy with that. We didn't want to cash out 100% of our Bitcoin because it was really ironic, guys. I tell you my intuition has been pretty spot on of late. So what we did was we went from altcoins to 60% into BTC around the 8,500 mark. Okay, we wrote that somehow just before just before this all happened. I didn't even expect this to happen, by the way. So I just said, look, 11,300 to 11,005, you know what? Exit 50% of it. I mean, I just said that. Exit, and everyone who is in my group can validate. So what happened was, after that, I said, exit 50% of your BTC, just stay in cash. And then we had a few setups that were a little bit too, I would say a little bit early, in a sense that early, but not fantastic like these levels. We didn't make any $10,000 mark. We were at about 10,005, 10,003, 10,2. I'm not sure whether there were any low ball orders. So right now we kind of like are fully invested back into BTC, maybe a little bit too early. but but that was what we kind of gave in terms of the call. Yep. You guys called it right, man. You guys called it right. Yeah, so that's the space, man. Hey, Thomas, look, by re-entering into Bitcoin, you're not stupid. Okay, look, you're buying into the only currency that at least we can safely say should be around. If this whole space just blows up, there's nothing wrong with buying Bitcoin because you believe in the direction of a decentralized currency that is going to provide that kind of financial liberation that the banks and usually sometimes even governments have been trying to look, governments and banks have been trying to monitor your money movements for the longest time. They want to have the ultimate control. Now that there's a currency that they have no control over, they want to they're worried that you're going to bypass them, guys. Okay, they're just worried that you're going to bypass them. And if you invested in Bitcoin and Bitcoin goes to the shit, it is just we have to accept it, right? We have to accept it in that sense because at least we tried our best to fight against the powers that be. You see where I'm coming from? It's not a me or you, it's us. You get what I'm saying? Because we have been controlled by the banks. You know, we live in a country that is run by governments, politicians, and whatnot. They always have the say. You see, when you think that you are voting for someone and you think that that person has your best interest, they will come up with bills and policies to kind of make the people happy. But it's still a business, guys. A country is still a business. A bank is here to make money off your deposits, right? It's here to make money off you when you need to borrow money and they lend you money and you pay them back with interest, right? It's just the way it is. Why you think there's a credit score and all that? And it kind of makes you very fearful that if you have a fucked up credit score, you cannot you cannot borrow, and then you cannot get a home, and then you cannot get a loan for a car, and all these things, right, in your life start collapsing. But suddenly when you have this opportunity for financial liberation, the fucking banks are all over the place. You know, they're just they're just trying, you see, they're just trying to control you, and they know that if the more they don't touch into this space, they definitely want to control as much as possible, or at least regain back that control, right? And what better way than to choke off any means, anyone who owns the money, right? And they can somehow get majority of that and control that. That is how it works. And also, large exchanges are a business as well. So there's always a compromise. Oh shit, yeah, that's right. I still need to get my investors out, right? Investors who buy Bitcoin from me, from an exchange, they need to get US dollars. If I don't work with a bank, how am I going to remit this money from, say, my offshore account back into a US dollar account somewhere within America, right? My customers won't be happy. I have to play ball. I'm sorry. That's how it is. And of course, you are going to see, I think IRS is going to come knocking on these large exchanges, and obviously they have to give the names, guys, of all the top accounts. They have to. Always, you're going to get risk shutting down. But you know, for the rest of us little fish, you don't have to worry too much, right? The little fish, they don't really care too much. They are hunting the ones that are of evading tax. We're talking about the ones who are in the hundreds of millions, right? Those are the juiciest, okay? But of course, for the rest of everyone else, you're looking at every single trade that you do, you're gonna get taxed. Then you know, you have to kind of understand how this whole space works. We're still figuring out stuff, guys, okay? All these things happened only last year, okay? The whole space is still very, very new. If you're wondering whether or not you should step into Bitcoin or not, buy a bit, guys. You can always buy a fraction of a Bitcoin. You don't have to buy the whole Bitcoin, right? The whole idea is that you can go up to 1/1,000,000th of a Bitcoin for a reason, okay? So with that being said, guys, take good care, and remember, guys, don't panic. I think this whole this time is a great time to connect with your loved ones. It's a great time to really start doing more reading, self-improvement. If you've always wanted to build a business, right? Build a business. You always wanted to be an entrepreneur, have a side hustle apart from your day job. This is the time. Start reading, guys. I'm sure I guarantee some of you definitely made enough money to do your own thing, but you were hoping that, you know, there was this one more push so that you can really cash out big. Now is a great time for you to cash out even a little bit, right? I mean, I'm not asking you to cash out if you don't need to cash out, but it's a great time for you guys to start emphasizing on your personal development skills. This is the time for you to reconnect with people whom you haven't been connecting with for a very long time. Maybe that's one of those things. Have you traveled lately? If you haven't, maybe it's time to go for some traveling. This is that time, guys. This is that time, right? Because if the market is bearish, why do you have to sit in front of your computer all day long and being so concerned about, you know, your blockfolio going up and down and swinging 40-50%? You don't have to care. Just chill, right? Spend more time with the kids. Spend more time with your spouse. You know, maybe you haven't called your mom or dad, you know, in a long time. It's time to have that call, right? Maybe they don't even know about Bitcoin, right? They may say, hey son, you know, I heard about the Bitcoin. Maybe it's time to, you know, really visit them, you know, even though they're miles away. I understand that sometimes you guys are working in one state and your parents are in another state. Maybe it's time to visit them, and like really visit them, you know, take some time off and then come back again later. And who knows, you know, there are those who invested in Bitcoin, like, I don't know, they did that, right? They had it in the cold wallet and then they just left, you know, they just left and chilled. And then after the next thing, hey, shit, whatever they bought, whatever kind of cryptocurrency they bought gained in value over time. Now, if you want to see that, you have to kind of wait a little bit longer because, of course, we have a way higher market cap. But at the end of the day, they're only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoins, guys, right? And also a large part of the world, right, has accepted miners, right? They're willing to let miners from China start mining in their country, you know? So there is that light at the end of the tunnel. So don't fret. The most important thing, guys, I hope that you realize that in this space, don't borrow, okay? Don't borrow from the banks. Never be in debt for this space. The beauty of it is that although there is leverage available, try not to touch it. I think, you know, this is a very good lesson for a lot of people, right? Don't keep gambling with your money, guys. Your money is hard-earned. Remember, if your money is hard-earned, then at least you want it to grow. Think about this space and go for the long haul. All right, take care. See you guys in the next stream.